Hello everybody, thank you for tuning into another Starcraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris, and today we're here watching a 1 versus 1 on the map Blistering Sands between QXC, who is spawning as the Red Terran in the top right position, against his Protoss opponent, MeatyOwlLegs. Oh man, I knew when I said that the first time I'm recording, I was not going to be able to say it with a straight face. I don't know why. But whenever I read this name, like in my head or read it out loud, it just makes me laugh. It's a hilarious name. And I remember somebody the other day was really wanting me to find a replay for MeatyOwlLegs, rather. Okay, I can do this. I got this. Oh god, it's in this. Oh no, don't want it on the screen 2 times at once. Oh, 3 times. No, 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 no. Okay, I'm not going to look at the screen. The other day, I actually had somebody ask me if I could cast a game from him because he saw a game with MeatyOwlLegs on Husky's channel, and I guess he was pretty good, so I was like, alright, keep it in the back of my head. Lo and behold, today I find a game from MeatyOwlLegs, so I'm going to cast it. Alright. At the end of this video, I think what I'm going to do is just open up MS Paint and do some sort of MeatyOwlLegs picture, because I just have to get into my system. Or else, till the end of time, I'm just going to be laughing at this guy's name. I don't even know why. It's not even that super funny, but I just have this image in my head that is completely entertaining. So let's see if I can pass that image along. For now, though, let's focus on the game a little bit. We do have the gas going down right there at the very end of 14, beginning of 15, that little border. And you see he's actually, you know what, this timing is probably in line with, I'm going to say, this looks awfully familiar to my 2-gate or 3-gate robo build that I've been favoring a lot in 4v4 lately. Getting that gas at around 15, getting that pylon around 16, and maybe going on and throwing down that zealot at 19 or so. Again, like I said, this is just something I've been going a lot with Protoss lately in 4v4, and that just happens to be my preferred strategy for a number of reasons, which I won't get into this video. I'm going to save that actually for my Scared in Korea #2 video, which I think I mentioned video before last, or I'm basically going to do a comparison between North American and Korean 4v4s. Pretty entertaining stuff. I've actually got the games picked out now. But anyways, back to this game. We do have the Kernel Boost going up on the probes. Could see you getting those out pretty quickly there, and probably going to have him dump, my guess is the Kernel Boost into the Cybernetics core to get that gateway technology, since he's going to be running on what'll most likely be 1, 2, maybe 3 warp gates there at the start. You're going to want to be able to get some units out pretty darn quick. And sure enough, there we go with that warp gate technology. Again, this is pretty standard for the build, so I'm not surprised at all that we're seeing this. Something else that we see a lot of times with Terran players, is he supply blocked? No, he's not supply blocked. Anyways, we see a lot against Terran players. You'll see him go for a Stalker first to get rid of this pesky SCV. You see QXC actually doing a good job keeping it away from the Zealot, now having to run away because he realizes, okay, Cybernetics core is down. This gateway has been working for a minute, trying to get out some unit, and it's probably going to be a ranged one. Pretty common course of action there. So I'm going to just go ahead and bring that SCV back now. And we see that Zealot actually has a kill. Oh man, but he is proud of himself now. MeatyOwlLegs controlling the xel'naga watchtower here. Control of these towers actually pretty important throughout the game. They do cover all of the major walkways. Let's look at QXC's build for a minute here. We see he is throwing down his second refinery here, working on 2 barracks, 1 reactor, 1 tech lab, working on that concussive shells upgrade as we speak. Looking at his money, sitting about 125, 130. He's actually doing a really good job keeping it nice and low. Of course, that's one of the basic StarCraft 2 things. You do not ever want to let your money accumulate super high, unless, of course, you're planning on building a command center. That's pretty much the only exception. I think there's 1 or 2 others. But for now, we see he's actually got a nice little kill team hanging out here at the base of the ramp. Going to be able to run around, catch anything that happens to come, maybe a probe. He did scout around his natural, seeing if there's any pylons. That's a good place to see check for. Can't talk. A lot of times you'll have pylons placed right here-ish, thereabouts. Got a probe hanging out down here. We see he's sitting on about 200 minerals and might decide to drop an expansion. One important piece of information here, controlling this watchtower has paid off. He sees those infantry coming in. He decides to pull back his probe, which was saving up money. We saw he was kind of lingering around 200, going up to 250 there. Brought it back up, spent down the money on a couple, you see he's got a couple sentries here, a couple zealots as well. 1 Marine is going to be leading the pack, is going to be scouting, absorbing some of that damage, and there we go. So right at that exact same time, an Immortal popped over here. Now, the speed that it was walking, the Terran player just barely missed it. So I was going to say if he popped up 2 seconds later, he probably wouldn't have attacked simply because, well, among other reasons, the Immortal there would have wrecked the amount of Marauders that he had, which was only a couple. So if microed properly, that Immortal can wreck the Marauders. So it's one thing you got to watch out for, though, because those when you got one Immortal on the field, it can kind of be the target of focus fire. So you got to keep that in mind when you're running at this point in the game. MeatyOwlLegs going to be throwing down that expansion now, looking at the money. Sure enough, there we go. Dropping it down as the SCV is going to be heading out, looking for, well, anything that it can find. See if the rocks have taken any damage. See if there's any sort of hidden tech laying around here. This is a pretty common place to see it. Also, sometimes you'll see it down here as well, considering where this player is spawning. Now, QXC going to be heading over with his Marines and Marauders. Again, very early, effective finding force. There goes that probe. SCV now taking over that tower. So we do have both players. Oh man, Marine's so close, not taking it though. As look at this, 2 Immortals now. Got a nice amount of energy on these sentries. Pretty good, pretty well equipped to deal with some damage. And look at those force fields going down right now, man. Immortals just wrecking those Marauders. Most of the forces were able to get away. You see there, actually, a lot of those Marines were kept out of firing range of the Immortals, which was pretty crucial there. Expansion looking pretty good. And let's actually look at QXC's base again here for just a moment. We see a Ghost Academy has gone down. He's still focusing on the infantry, still working on one base, and still doing a pretty good job keeping his money down lowish. He's sitting about 400, almost 400. I thought he was going to drop a command center, maybe float it down there for a second. Not going to be the case, and SCV is, however, heading over. So now we might have it as we see the orders kind of being given to head down this way. 400 minerals, sure enough, there goes that command center. A little bit later than his opponent, but his opponent really doesn't have any probes over here. So it's not like he's expanding against a player who already has a saturated natural. So that is going to definitely be a good thing for QXC. However, this observer right here knows exactly where the army's at. He sees the composition. He's aware of the fact that there are 2 ghosts in the middle of this army here. And yeah, he's got his forces nice and spread out right here. Make sure that one EMP does not single-handedly knock out all of the shields. And there's the Marine going to be heading to scouting, maybe draw away some forces. There's one force field that was blown. Good, I'm not making a nice little choke here as the ghosts are trying to come in, maybe look for an opportunity to do some EMP. There's one Colossus in the field now, folks. This is a critical unit. He's going to have to keep this alive. It's going to do oh so much damage. You see, this force comprises of a lot of Marines. Almost 24 of them, sitting about 20 or so right now. So, very high damage units, but can go down very quickly against the Colossus, which it looks like we might actually have an engagement here. Protoss and a nice little ball right there. Look at that EMP landing right in the middle of it, taking almost all the shields. Now the Protoss doesn't have squat for shields on any of these forces, and the Colossus trying to do some damage. You see the units are going down very quickly. The Marines actually stimming and running and attacking, trying to get the Colossus. Not going to happen, though. MeatyOwlLegs bringing that back very early. Good idea to get that back before he loses it. Do not want to lose your first Colossus, man. That never ends well. And we see actually the Protoss player locked himself in, so he's running with a lot of probes up here as the expansion goes under heavy fire. Look at that, man. Stim-packed Marines and Marauders taking it down super quick. Shields are now gone. We see the reinforcements are just kind of hanging out right back here. Don't want those ghosts to go down very quickly. This expansion, will it go down? I think it will. Yes, it does. Probes coming in here, going to be long-distance mining, at least for a minute or two while they need to rebuild another Nexus. Fortunately for MeatyOwlLegs, he does have enough minerals to rebuild that very quickly. We see Terran now controls both towers. Had that Marine just like 2 feet away. I guess he was eating lunch, sitting there talking on his cell phone like the true baller that he is. All Marines are given a standard 2-hour plan per day or something. I don't know what futuristic cell phones will be like. I doubt they'll even have them. SCVs are going to be coming over here, and let's see if they're actually... No, not going to have an engagement here. That was a pretty good response from QXC. He brought those SCVs over anticipating an attack. Didn't happen, though. Once again, control of those watchtowers. He does provide key information. The rocks will be going down, but I want to point out something. Up here on the Terran base, he has expanded his arsenal. He's running on 2 starports with 2 reactors. That is going to give him a ton of Vikings and medevacs if he wants them, but right now Vikings are definitely the unit of choice. And he will have at least 2 before these Colossi are able to come in here and do serious damage. You see, here they go popping right there at the same time as the Colossi coming up the ramp. And the Protoss doesn't have squat for anti-air, folks. Look at that. One Stalker hanging down here at the base of the ramp, moving up, going to try to do some damage. But, oh, man, that's just not going to work out for MeatyOwlLegs. He is going to have to retreat for a while, folks. He just does not have the Stalker reinforcements anywhere nearby. As you see, the one Stalker here is getting picked off by the Marauders with a Concussive Shells upgrade, slowing that unit down. And now we're finally seeing Terran pulling back here. That was some great follow-up attack on that with Terran player knocking out the shields, took out one Colossus there. Also took out some of the anti-air. And now this Observer is left to scout out. He sees now, oh man, great position on that guy. He sees pretty much everything the Terran player has. Pretty good composition. Oh man, that's actually going to be pretty brutal if he attacks here, which it looks like he might actually do so. He's got these Marauders. Of course, with the stem upgrade, they're just going to be able to annihilate units. He's going to have to watch out for the Colossi. Have to take advantage of the fact that the Vikings do outrange the Stalkers, maybe attack the Colossi, force the Stalkers to follow out in front and pick them off with the Marauders then. We'll have to see. You see he's got a nice little spread right there. Got to make sure, again, minimize the impact of the EMP. Look at those Vikings now, man. 8 of them looking for any weak spots that he can find. He sees that he's pretty Stalker heavy right now. Still kind of hanging out his forces. As both of those ghosts are somewhere. Yeah, both of them are hanging out right here. Look at that spread, folks. So now QXC is just waiting for the right moment. Protoss anticipating an attack. He's continuing to build up units as well. The Extended Thermal Lance upgrade is going to be complete in about 10 seconds. That's going to help him out a lot in dealing with the Marauders, keeping them in a nice safe distance. Vikings looking for any way that they can get in here to take out those Colossi. Taking those out is going to be a priority for QXC if he wants to make this happen. What QXC does not want to do is charge in here and get bunched up with force fields blocking the exit and just be sandwiched in there. That is not a good position that he wants to be in, and he realizes that, so he's still just hanging out here, spotting for the Marauders, getting that high ground and taking out that pylon. And let's actually see, is he supply blocked? Yeah, he is actually supply blocked right now, so not something that he's happy about. Army size 113 to 134 in QXC's favor now. It looks like he was going to be able to get a Colossus. Oh, man, so very close. It goes down. 3 of them are still left, however. That's enough to do some serious damage. Terran is going to have to watch out for that. Yeah, I like how he's being very methodical, just looking for any weaknesses he can. He's not pushing the subject. And now Protoss is like, you know what, man? This isn't going to go anywhere. As the Terran player looks like he's going to take out another Colossus. 2 of them left. 1 of them going down as another EMP lands right on top of all the Zealots. All the Stalkers, meanwhile, are up here trying to get rid of the Vikings. Perfect split right there. Separation of the army as the Stalkers were trying to take out the Vikings and were distracted and just, oh man, that was great play by QXC right there. So MeatyOwlLegs now in super defensive mode as the Vikings are even landing. Thank you very much, QXC, for that little implanted text right there. That's just from the replay site. I don't know what kind of tech they use to implant that chat. That's not something that the player actually says, but anyways, that's going to be GG for MeatyOwlLegs. Yeah, I think I actually made it through the game without cracking up too much at it. That's just a personal goal of mine. Yeah, mission accomplished. As we have a Marauder. Actually, I think that's a Viking missile shooting right there. Colossus exploding. You see it's actually flashing real-time. Frickin' what's his name? Oh, God. The guy that made the Transformers movie. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. Michael Bay! Michael Bay effects right here, folks. God, that shows what a terrible person I am. Alright, so that's going to conclude this game. I do hope you enjoyed the MeatyOwlLegs, and I'm out.